Guys, what is going on? It is me, Chris Colgan here. We're going to be talking about the Northern Virginia and Washington, D.C. housing market. Obviously, things here have gotten pretty crazy. You can tell the average sales prices are going on. So, in this live here, we're going to be talking about all things Northern Virginia and Washington, D.C. real estate. So, I want to talk a little bit more and definitely comment if you guys have any questions. What is up, holiday accents? I can kind of see your guys' comments here on Instagram. There's a couple of things I want to talk about here on the average sales prices here in Northern Virginia and Washington, D.C. But one thing I want to show you guys that really blew my mind, and if you have any real estate questions about the D.C. area or Northern Virginia, let me know. So this is really crazy, right? So the MLS just came out with a report, and they said that nearly 2/3 of sellers in the DC area got multiple offers. So at least 15% of sellers got 5 or more offers, 7% got 4 or more, 19% got 3 offers, and then 23% got 2 offers at least on their homes. And then 66% of all houses that sold had an average of 3 offers on their house, which is like absolutely insane for the Northern Virginia and DC area. So you can tell there's really this low lack of inventory. And it goes on to say that buyers have felt frustrated and had to act very quickly in this market. And most buyers have only been looking for a month, which is about 78%. And then 55% of buyers have been looking for 1 or 2 months, and then 40% 3 to 6 months, and then 28% more than 6 months. So overall, more than half buyers in February were successful in getting submitted only 1 offer. So meaning most buyers have had to submit multiple offers on their home. And then 40% of all home buyers in Northern Virginia and Washington, D.C. are first-time home buyers, and 5% of those people paid all cash. So you can definitely tell this is still a really hot market here in the Northern Virginia and DC area. One thing I want to talk about with you guys, I want to talk about some average sales prices. If you want me to talk about your area, definitely let me know and we can pull that up. Listen to this. One area that's kind of struggling a little bit is Washington, DC. The average sold price is down 3%. It went from 827,000 down to 795,000 in the month of February. But I want to show you guys some other areas that are going to. So now this is actually going to be pretty much all of Northern Virginia and all price points for the market. So like, let's take a look. Like one thing I wanted to see, let's take a look at Fairfax County. So if we go into Fairfax County, and one thing I want to show you guys, and I'll try to pull this up for you so you can see it. I don't know how you're going to be able to see it on Instagram, but let me just grab this up here really quick. Well, don't look at anything yet. Well, one thing I want to talk about too, like when you're talking about some of these other areas, let me just share screen. Let me share my screen with you guys. So let's talk about Fairfax County, right? So in Fairfax County, let's talk about some average sold prices. So over there, the average sales price in Fairfax has gone from $717,000 to $835,000 in Fairfax County. So right now, the average sold price in Fairfax County is $835,000. So let's take a look at some of the areas. Great Falls is $3 million average sales price. Vienna, Virginia, $1.1 million. And then Fairfax, the city, $817,000. Springfield, $725,000. And then Falls Church, $695,000. And Herndon, $691,000. Then Reston, $625,000. So a lot of these places, the average sales prices are starting to get above $800,000, like anywhere that you look over in Fairfax County. And definitely comment where you guys are watching from, and if you want me to take a look at your particular neighborhood or your particular area. Another thing, like let's take a look at Loudoun County, which is obviously very popular on my channel and on my Instagram. When you get over to Loudoun County, I'm kind of lately just more or less looking at these average So let's take a look at the average days on market, right? So for Loudoun County, the average days on market was 18 days. And Aldie, Virginia was only 6 days, where a year ago it was 14 days. And then Leesburg, 23 days. And there's some new construction and things like that going on over there. And so that's one thing. And let's take a look at some of these average sold prices, which is something that I've really taken a look at. So Loudoun County, the average sales price is 755,000. Yeah, Carter, Betty, definitely shoot me a message. I can definitely help you with buying a house in Arlington. Just shoot me a DM here on Instagram, and I'll kind of I'll answer some of your questions about that commission thing. So Aldi, their average sales price is 893,000, up 3%. And then Ashburn, 794,000. And the prices in Ashburn have gone up almost 10% year over year. And then in Lovettsville, 642,000, which it's down 15%. I don't really believe that. There's probably just not a lot of sales. But Leesburg's prices are up 700 to 43,000 from 695. So a lot of activity over in Loudoun County. Let's take a look at some other areas. What other areas would you guys like to see? Going over to Prince William County, and let me know if you guys have any like real estate related questions, whether it's buying a house or selling a house or kind of the process. But taking a look at Prince William County, let's take a look at some of the average sold sales over in Prince William. And once you get over there, right, the Prince William County has kind of been the most affordable one, when you're talking everything of Northern Virginia. But the sales prices are up 9% to an average of 587,000. And then Gainesville is up 3% to 672,000. Haymarket's average sales price is now $712,000. And then Manassas 536, and then Woodbridge 537. So Bird Joyce Golf asked me, is a first-time home buyer loan worth it for young buyers? Seems like a killer long-term. Here's the problem, right? So some of these first-time home buyer loans, when you're talking no money down, or you're talking, VHDA, where they're giving you a credit, the interest rates, what I've seen on some of those have actually been worse than doing like a 3 to 5% conventional or FHA. So they're not always the best one. If you want to shoot me a DM on Instagram, I can definitely help you with that and talk to you a little bit more. But it's kind of funny. Lately, some of these first-time home buyer loans have not been the best deals, but you can also get some other deals that don't always believe, kind of what you see, for some of those programs out there. Lorton, someone asked me, Lorton's average sales price, medium sold price, 670,000 with an average sales price of 731,000. The thing with solar energy, man, is the guy that's asking me about that is it can increase the home value. Where it becomes a pain is if you have a huge loan on it, right? And then the buyer has to be willing to take it over. So I've seen one or two kind of kill the deal. If it's like a $25,000 to $30,000, loan that the buyer's got to take over on, and some people just haven't wanted to pay those payments. I think long-term though, mostly everyone will have this. And I got someone ask me about Fauquier County. Yeah, so Fauquier has been really popular lately. But obviously Fauquier is funny, right? Because some of the average prices can be all over the place. If you're talking like a huge farm in Warrenton or Middleburg, with Fauquier's prices, Fauquier's average sales price is up 22% to 670,000. And then Broad Run 816, Nokesville $1 million. Warrenton's average sales price is up 20% to 680,000. I listed a single family in Warrenton for 595, and it got bid up to 625,000, but then it didn't appraise. It appraised for 595. Marshall, Virginia, 647. So Fauquier is definitely still hot. Let's take a look at Stafford. I want to see what's going on over in Stafford County, because they just opened up that 95, and I want to see how much of a difference that actually made. Let's see. Average sold price in Fredericksburg, kind of even, 468,000. Stafford, 502,000. So prices in the Stafford area have kind of been the same. Let me know if there's any other areas that you guys want me to check out. Yeah, so Revka, you were asking something about the commission thing. Yeah, it's obviously, I'm not a lawyer, but National Association of Realtors had this long litigation going on, and basically now what's going to happen is The seller still, the commission was always negotiable. I don't know why the media keeps saying it wasn't. It's always been negotiable, but you could put in the MLS, hey, we're paying the buyer agent X amount of dollars. Well, now they want, if you're buying a house, you're going to actually talk to your buyer agent like myself. We've always done consultations. And then if I'm listing a house for sale, I'll say, hey, I charge X%, but you can actually offer a seller subsidy, which could go towards the buyer agent's commission or a roof repair or anything like that, or the buyer's closing costs. So there are some changes coming. Do I think it's going to be like drastic? Yeah, of course. Like people that are professional like me that have done it forever and always sat down with people and kind of, did it. Things will definitely change, but I think it's actually going to be a good thing for the consumers at the end of the day. Where are you watching from, by the way, man? Yeah, we know. And let me know where else you guys, like what other real estate related questions you guys have. The Fed recently came out and said that they think they kind of just kept things the same. And so basically from there, the rates probably will start to drop. The prediction is in the next 1 to 2 years, the interest rates should be around like 5.25% to like 5.5%. So if you're looking and you're at like 6.75 to 7%, the rates might come down some to around like 5 and you can redo it. But yeah, man, Warrenton is really a hot area, but they've really fought off some of these data centers there recently. It seems like, I know the Vent Hill area, they were talking about putting in some more data centers and things like that. And Warrenton seems to like fight it a lot more than some of these other areas. But if you look at Warrenton right now, like I'm just looking, the average sales price is up. A medium sold price is up 36% to 640,000. So Warrenton really is a very hot area. What other questions do you guys have about the area or like what's going on, with the Northern Virginia? I will tell you one thing that I've noticed is the DC market and the condo market has definitely slowed down a little bit. You're not seeing like those properties sell as quickly, but one of the big issues we're having here in the Northern Virginia or DC area is a lot of the data centers have just bought up so much land, and a lot of the developers are selling off their properties to these the data center companies. So you're not seeing these large tract of neighborhoods being built anymore. I mean, there's hardly any brand new construction neighborhoods going on, and if there might be like 20 to 30 homes in the area. There's just not much going on in the form of like brand new construction. That's really making the inventory go down. But I'm seeing a lot of people right now in the market, if you're looking to buy, they've had to waive contingencies like inspections to appraisals and things like that. So that's all something to think about. If you guys are watching on Instagram, we got a ton of people on Instagram watching. Let me know, what type of real estate related questions you might have about the Washington, D.C. area, or Northern Virginia area. You said you're friends with Marianne Gadban. Yeah, for sure. I've known the Gadbans for a while, and they're involved with the big data center sale. I think they've had that land there for a long time. Rate drop will make it more difficult to buy, increases everyone's purchasing power and value. So if you want to buy, then buy. What do you think? That's a really good question, right? Like the problem is there's really low inventory. I don't know why my camera's got me like so. My camera's got me like, I think you guys want to see like my handsome face, right? You know what I mean? But the inventory, right, is like been really low, because if you have a 2 or 3% rate, like you're probably not going to want to sell and then go out and buy, at a house at a 7% rate. And there's also very limited inventory he said I'm moving too fast for autofocus. Yeah, I totally agree. I like to talk fast too. So if you have a very like low rate, and then you say like part of the problem is I have a bunch of people who want to get out of their house, but then there's nowhere for them to go buy. So I have a couple in Bristol that I met with. Their house is around 700,000. They want to buy another house for 900,000. But when we go to look, I mean, they're not going to get a contingency accepted for their house to sell. So they almost would have to do a double move, which sometimes I don't always recommend. So I definitely think, as what the statistics that I've seen is, once the rates get to like 5.5 to 5.75, then most of the people that were sitting at 2 or 3% will be willing to move up and get another home. But of course, here in the Northern Virginia area, we just don't have many homes for sale. So I don't know what's going to happen, but I would say about like 25 to 35% of my transactions have been, divorces to death. So there's a lot more like life events happening. So yeah, someone on Instagram asked me, is wholesaling dead in Virginia? Northern Virginia, DC has never really been a great flip market. I've worked with a lot of flippers. Most people here have a ton of equity. They can get out of their house really easily. It's not like some areas, like I own some properties in Tennessee, and things in that market don't sell as quickly, and it's a lot easier to flip. But wholesaling and flipping and even investing in real estate is difficult in Northern Virginia or DC. When I talk about Northern Virginia, I'm talking even going out to Winchester, to even like some of the, and it's a lot more difficult when the interest rates are 7%. But I mean, if you're willing to put down a lot of money, you can definitely still invest in the area. But wholesaling is definitely tough. Yeah, the Florida market is crazy. Yeah, what happened was, it's funny you say that, man. A lot of people from Florida, yeah, you do pretty much need a real estate license now to wholesale. Yeah, because you're involved with a real estate transaction. So yeah, they're making you have one. Yeah, Florida's starting to struggle a little bit. There's a lot of big neighborhoods out there that they built, thousands of homes. And like I said, we just don't have that here in Virginia. And I had about 4 or 5 clients who moved to Florida during COVID, and they really missed the area. They said they didn't see their kids as much here in Northern Virginia or DC, and they decided to move back. So you're seeing a lot of the active adult communities have some changes as well, and they're becoming very popular. Let me know. We got a bunch of people watching on YouTube Live. We got a bunch of people watching on Instagram. What other real estate questions can I answer for you guys? Christy C. Twins, what is going on? One of the reasons I wanted to talk about it is just the average sales prices in Northern Virginia are getting pretty crazy. And also in Washington, D.C. For joining me late, we were taking a look at some of the areas around here. And one of the things, I'll kind of go through it again really quick, but one of the things that really struck me is if 66% of home sellers in our area have gotten 3 or more offers, according to the MLS. So if you were someone who was selling, they've gotten on average 3 or more offers on their house. And then, that's just insane. So pretty much everyone who's selling is getting multiple offers. And then about 30% of the purchases in Northern Virginia and DC have been all cash, which is pretty crazy. And then it says only about 3% of first-time home buyers have paid all cash. So there's a lot of like limited inventory in our area. And is Frederick, Maryland a good alternate option? Yeah, Frederick, Maryland's a really popular market right now. I see a lot of people moving there. It's obviously close to Leesburg, Virginia. That is a pretty good area. I think some of these outlying suburbs, you're going to see a lot more growth going in, like certainly Culpeper, Winchester, like you said, Frederick, Maryland. West Virginia has also become a very popular destination. But West Virginia is actually not getting that much cheap anymore. There's like new townhouses over there now for like $400,000 in that Charlestown area. So that is like really insane. Yeah, New York. New York City is obviously really struggling. My thoughts on growth in Aldi with all the new development. If I was just looking this up earlier, if you go back, it's insane what's going on in Aldi. I'll show you. If we go back and take a look at Aldi, it's that the average sales price, I bet, is somewhere near $900,000. Aldi's just been a really popular area. There's a lot of new construction over there, a lot of brand new houses. They finally are starting to fix some of the roads. Yeah, Aldi's average sales price is up 3% to $893,000. So, man, can you imagine? Aldi is getting close to $1 million average sales price. Do I think Fauquier will turn into Nova? Honestly, I don't. I think Fauquier has done a good job of, not as best as they can. It seems like Fauquier has really tried to stop the growth. I know they are really anti-data center. And from what I understand, Loudoun is kind of tapped out power-wise on the data centers. And, obviously most of them have been coming into Prince William County, and that's where I live. I mean, pretty much there's data centers here everywhere, but it seems like Falk here has done a really good job of stopping it. I know there was talks of like the Vent Hill area, maybe some data centers going in over there, but I don't think it's going to happen. It seems like anytime they try to do something over there in that Vent Hill area, everyone kind of shoots it down. And I know the supervisor over there still doesn't want any data centers over there. So I don't know. I don't think it will, but I mean, I don't know. Warrenton is still to me been pretty pretty popular. I think most people, if someone asks me on Instagram why I think the people around here don't like data centers, I think part of the problem is, some of them, they're just putting them way too close to houses. I don't know if you've gone over near Gainesville, but there's just one neighborhood. I mean, these poor people had their townhouse forever, and then you really walk out on their balcony, and there's a huge data center right there. And I mean, that obviously really kills your home value. Um, I mean, so that's kind of like why I think people have been anti-data center. I think that the one in Gainesville and Haymarket, the big, huge one off of Pageland Lane, that one's pretty extreme. It's really close to the battlefield. But again, I don't know. They seem to be bringing a lot of jobs, and they've obviously made the average sales prices go way up here in Northern Virginia. And like I said, I mean, I think you guys probably saw that I reported on Instagram that that Microsoft bought some land over there by Jiffy Lube Live. They paid $432 million for that land. They paid about $4 million an acre. Can you imagine? Like $4 million an acre for land over there. And you got to think, that's going to be an AI data center area. And those things take a lot of power. But I mean, that's going to be a lot of high paying jobs too, but if you would have told me you could sell land in Gainesville, Haymarket, Northern Virginia for $4 million, I would have, when I was like 10 years old, I would have done anything I could to buy land around here. So, I mean, just to think, imagine that Microsoft paid that much money for land, and that's why they're going in, so, and about 82% of all the internet runs through Loudoun and Prince William County, something like that. What other questions do you guys have? Someone else asked me about wholesaling in Florida. I don't know too much about Florida market. Honestly, I think my opinion on investing and wholesaling and all that is, I feel like people make more money selling courses on wholesaling than they actually do on wholesaling properties. That's just my personal opinion. There's a lot of shady people in that industry in general. So definitely watch that for sure. I haven't really seen too much of it, but like I know Virginia is really clacked down on wholesaling. Pennsylvania is really clacked down. You got to have a real estate license. There's a bunch of addendums that you got to know about. So you could definitely get yourself in some legal trouble. You got some of you guys that are watching me here on YouTube Live. Let me know if you have any real estate related questions on anywhere here in the DMV. Another area that I think probably could start to grow a little bit in Falk here would probably be Marshall, Virginia. I know Van Meter's got a neighborhood going on over there. And then, of course, Arlington and Alexandria with the Amazon starting their headquarters. They have till 2030 to get the 25,000 jobs to get all their tax credits. So they've started construction back up over there. And I've had a lot of clients that are working to that new Amazon. So I think that's going to really help Arlington and Alexandria's market for sure. But we'll see what happens with that Wizards and Capitals arena. Like what happens there, I don't know, because it seems like there's a lot of back and forth politics going on. I think the governor will probably call a special session to kind of make everybody vote for it eventually. Let me know if you guys have any other real estate related questions. Would love to help you out. I'm going to be jumping on these YouTube and Instagram lives every few weeks with some breaking news about our area, and then some real estate information. But I guess nobody looks like they have any more questions. But guys, definitely subscribe to my channel. All right. Someone did actually just ask me a really good question. They said, can you find a small lot for under 50,000 anywhere in Northern Virginia? Here's the thing, right? A lot of people hit me up about buying land. It is really difficult to buy land around here. Like you pretty much got to pay cash for it. No banks are going to really give you a loan on land. You can go out to like Front Royal and Linden and find some cheap land, but the problem is you're going to have to like really know that it perks. and that you can actually build a house there that you want to build, or maybe even Luray, Virginia, some of those areas in parts of Maryland or West Virginia. But you've got to pay all cash for land pretty much if you're wanting to do that. So I don't recommend doing it unless you really know what you're doing and you have the it looks like Lancaster, Virginia isn't actually in my MLS, unfortunately. Yeah, I mean, if you bought land, I mean, honestly, like there was land for $50,000. I would say, that'd probably be like Culpeper, you might be able to, but you're going to want to know that it's going to perk. And you're talking, it costs about 50 to 60,000 probably to put in a good septic system. So you got to have a lot of cash, and a lot of the local banks lost money on lending money on land back in the 08-09 crisis. So they're not as excited to sell land as much as they used to be, if you can imagine, or lend money on land. But I certainly work with a lot of new builders. I know DR Horton's got some brand new townhomes over in Luray, Virginia for about $240 that you can actually do a short-term rental on. So that is always an option as well if you wanted to try one of those as an investment property. But yeah, let me know if you guys have any other questions. Like I said, follow me on my Instagram at Chris Colgan Team, YouTube. We just shot 2 videos today out in Alexandria and then one in DC. I feel like we're putting out a ton of content, but I'm glad that you guys jumped on my YouTube live. I appreciate you guys and my Instagram live. Thanks for following me, and I will keep putting out some content for you guys. I'm about to lose my voice. I've been talking all day, so I will see you guys later. And thanks again for watching.